North Korea has blasted the latest UN sanctions imposed on the country as an act of war and has vowed to strengthen their nuclear threat. The rogue state slammed the complete economic blockade and has threatened to punish those who support the sanctions. A foreign minister statement said Kim Jong-un's deterrence was the only way to deal with tensions with the U.S. The UN Security Council imposed the new sanctions on Friday in response to the ballistic missile tests in Pyongyang. North Korea's foreign ministry said, "We define this sanctions resolution rigged up by the U.S. and its followers as a grave infringement upon the sovereignty of our republic, as an act of war violating peace and stability in the Korean peninsula and the region, and categorically reject the resolution." North Korea's nuclear weapons are a self-defensive deterrence not in contradiction of the international law. The statement continued, "The U.S. should not forget even a second the entity of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which rapidly emerged as a strategic state capable of posing a substantial nuclear threat to the U.S. mainland." The Hermit Kingdom is already subject to a raft of sanctions from the U.S., the UN and the EU. The country's vow to strengthen its military to secure its policy of nuclear deterrence is a strong move that could spark World War III. The UN voted in favoring of increasing the world's stranglehold on Kim on Friday as new limits were imposed on petrol and oil. North Korea was hit with a 90% ban on petrol exports, limiting the regime to 500,000 barrels a year, while a drafted UN resolution imposed a crude oil supply quota of 4 million barrels a year. Under the new sanctions, a number was also imposed on earnings for North Koreans working abroad, who would have to return to the country within 24 months. Following the vote, U.S. President Donald Trump said the world wants peace, not death. In a tweet, the 71-year-old said, "The United Nations Security Council just voted 15-0 in favor of additional sanctions on North Korea. The world wants peace, not death." Meanwhile, an expert told Daily Star Online that North Korea had been lying about the latest missile test and nuclear capabilities and claimed the threat has been exaggerated. Roberta Manning said, "They're probably still at least a year or two away from having an operational ICBM that is reliable."